it's me, Harley, back at it again for yet another video. And today I'm with my cat Peaches because for some reason she's decided that today she wants to be part of my YouTube video. So here she is, she's come to join us. Today I'm going to be talking about the top 10 piercings I absolutely love but would probably never get. In case you didn't know, I have quite a lot of piercings. I have 3 set of lobe piercings, but my first ones are stretched to 10mm now. I have an industrial bar, I have my tragus, I have my rook, I have 2 helix, I have 2 conch, I have my smiley, my tongue, and then 2 dermals on the back of my neck. I also have 2 lobe piercings that were retired because of a piercing horror story, and I used to have a surface bar where my nape is because that's why I originally got pierced with, but I've now got dermals there instead. And even then, one of them fell out because of a piercing horror story. So I think I have my fair share of experiences with piercings and understanding of piercings and how they work to be able to say why I don't think some piercings would work out well for me, even though I love them. On to that. My number 1 piercing I absolutely love but will probably never get is a Medusa piercing. Right there. Really, kitty? Really? Oh, what are you doing? Yeah, okay. I would probably never get a Medusa piercing because of a couple of reasons. The main one being is, with my smiley, I'm pretty certain that the jewellery would just rub together. I'm prone to mouth ulcers as it is. I'm pretty certain if I had my Medusa pierced, I would have a permanent, terrible mouth ulcer there. I'd be lucky if my smiley didn't reject out because of that. I don't think I'll get one, mainly because of that reason. Another problem that I find is, I think it's one of the lip piercings that would do the biggest scars. Like, obviously there's the cheek ones and kind of like stuff that would be worse scars, but when it comes to your lips and stuff, there's already an indent where the Medusa goes, which is why it looks so perfect on some people. However, if I decided I actually wanted to take my piercing out, it would leave a really quite nasty scar there, I think, for me. Because, as I said, I've already got the dip there, I've already got quite a prominent dip. I think it would just be highlighting a scar if I decided to take the piercing out. On to number 2. That is the vertical labret piercing. I think these are so gorgeous, especially when paired with a Medusa. I just absolutely love the symmetry and think it's such a pretty design. I don't see it working out very well for me, for a couple of reasons. One is I am very OCD, and if it was pierced just even the slightest little bit out of line, or it was pierced straight but my lip healed slightly out of line, that would drive me insane, beyond belief. And although I love them and stuff, again, it's a similar situation. It's not quite as a prominent type of scar if I decided to take it out, but it would, again, be a scar on my face that I wouldn't be able to hide very easily, at least. Like, I could cover it with a foundation, but although I'm wearing makeup for this video, I don't wear makeup that often. I just can't see myself covering it up every day and feeling comfortable with it. So that's why I would probably never get a vertical labret. On to number 3, and that is one my mum says she thinks I would suit quite a lot. I'm not so certain. I don't think I have kind of like the aura, the personality to pull off an eyebrow piercing. I think they can look so amazing. I think they can also come across as kind of chavvy, but I think when done correctly with the right jewellery for your face and stuff, it can look so gorgeous. I just don't think it would suit me. Also, again, it would probably trigger my OCD situation because eyebrows can be kind of temperamental as it is. It's hair. They move around quite a bit. One day it can be set in one way, and then the next day it can be like straighter and more pointed down or whatever. Eyebrows move, and therefore I would have to straighten my eyebrows to fit the piercing and like look good on a regular basis. And I'm too lazy for that rubbish. I can't be bothered about sorting out my eyebrows to fit my piercing every morning. That's just a no-no for me, because I think a messy eyebrow with a piercing just doesn't look right. You have to have perfectly on-point eyebrows to pull it off, in my opinion. Now then, this is still technically on the face, I think, but we're now moving on to the kind of ear piercings that I'll probably never get. The next one on my list, surface tragus. Now, as you can tell, I have my tragus done now. That's actually my newest piercing. I absolutely love the look of a surface tragus. I'd have to get dermals for a start, because, or a dermals or a dermal. Depends what I would want to go with. I've seen both get pulled off really easily, and that's not having dermals ripped out your skin. I mean, you've pulled off the style really easily. I should make that clear. I have dermals as it is, and when I go on to a different one, I'll tell you why I don't particularly want to have any more. Especially as it would be, again, kind of on your face, and dermals do leave pretty big scars if you have them removed. And I wouldn't want that. A surface bar for this would just reject out. I have a feeling that even though I'm pretty good with these things, and I had a surface bar on my neck for 2 years that sat there perfectly comfortably until an evil bug decided it was going to bite me and then made it reject. But there's always just more risk of it rejecting with a surface bar. Doesn't seem practical to me. Doesn't seem like it would last. And if I get myself pierced, I want it to last. On to transverse lobe. Now, I think these can look really, really cool, and I have seen them done with stretched ears before, but honestly, I just wouldn't do it myself. Like, I don't exactly have a thin bit of ear here as it is. Like, I have a reasonable amount of skin there, and I could probably have it done if I wanted. However, I don't particularly want to get a transverse lobe done there, because in my opinion it would just weaken the ear skin, and I don't want my ear ripping on me. Like, I think they can look so cool and really pretty and well done, but I think for me to feel comfortable with it, I'd have to have not stretched ears, and I have stretched ears, so that's the reason why I don't think I'd ever get it done. The final thing when it comes to ears that I will probably never get is a coin slot piercings. Now, these are like one of the most ultimate badass piercings in my opinion. Like, they look so, so cool. Especially when they're healed right and you've got all the lovely hoops stacked on top of one another. It just looks so, so badass and pretty punk rock, and you just look like you could take on anything that's thrown at you. Now then, I don't think I'll be able to have it in this ear because I have my industrial anyway, and there's just not the space on that ear for me to have a coin slot. You could say I could take my industrial out and like change it and have it that way, but that's not going to happen. I got this industrial in memory of someone. Because it's sentimental to me and I got it in their memory, I'm not taking that industrial out ever, and I love it anyway. So I don't love a coin slot more to get rid of one that's already so well loved. Now then, I suppose technically I could have these two helix removed and instead have a coin slot here. Honestly, I just love the way this looks more than I love a coin slot. I don't plan on changing that. Ultimately, as much as I love a coin slot, I just don't have the space for them on my ears. That's just how it goes. I've got quite a few piercings and not enough space for a coin slot. This is going on to non-ear and facial piercings. Now then, I'll start off with the one that I'm probably least likely to get, and that is the back dimple dermals. I think these can look so aesthetically pleasing and absolutely beautiful. However, I am very body self-conscious. I don't care what other people say about me. I don't care about what other people think to the way I look and stuff like that. It's just a personal thing. I am not comfortable with my body. There's been no point in me getting them because I'd never be able to show them off to anyone or like be able to appreciate them. They're also on my back. I know that my nape ones are on my back, but I can see them and stuff in mirrors and stuff when I have a t-shirt on and like I can see them twinkling in a mirror. I would never ever see my back dimple ones. I also don't believe I have natural back dimples in the first place, and personally I think these piercings look best when they're enhancing an already natural back dimple. Another reason why I don't see myself getting any more dermals, especially not somewhere where it could rub against your trousers and stuff and therefore potentially reject, is because my neck dermals can be quite temperamental. Usually, vast majority of the time, they're fine. However, if I start getting a cold and I don't know it yet, they start getting a bit inflamed. I don't know why this happens. I don't know if anybody else has this happen with their dermals, but when I'm getting sick or I am sick, they become irritated. Once I'm better again, back to normal. I have no idea why this happens. When they're irritable, they can be quite high maintenance piercings. I wouldn't want even more high maintenance piercings, especially where, again, ones where I can't get easy access to them. So that leads me on to, I believe they're called sternum or like chest piercings, which is again one that I think is absolutely gorgeous. Again, similar concept with the back dermals. I don't want even more high maintenance piercings that get angry with me when I feel ill. I don't need that. These two little ones on the back of my neck are enough high maintenance piercings for me to have. I don't plan on getting any more. I think they can look so, so gorgeous, and if you are body confident and can pull it off and just think it's pretty and beautiful just like me, and I'll stop saying "and" now, then sure, I think go ahead, have them. I'd love them myself, but I just don't see me and them working together a long time. Now, we're almost finished, but again, this leads on to another kind of issue that I have with dermals, because this is collarbone piercings. Now, you can get them symmetrical, and I'm not talking about the ones that go underneath your collarbone and stuff, because I'm not a squeamish person, but just the thought of a needle going underneath your collarbone and I'll be, that's horrible. That's just impaling yourself at that point. I'm talking about the collarbone dermals that you get put in. Again, I can just see if I had them there and stuff, I have a feeling that they'd get caught a lot more than on the back of my neck, because the back of my neck is kind of like just above the clothesline, so they don't rub and touch really ever at all. But when it's on your shoulders and stuff, essentially, then it's nearly always in contact with either a strap of a dress or a t-shirt against it or whatever. It just seems like a high friction area, so it would probably reject quite easily. Also, the main reason why I love these piercings is it kind of looks like a vampire bite. I kind of love the idea of having a piercing that looks like a vampire bite, but again, that would wind up my OCD because I'd have to have it symmetrical. Then it kind of takes away the idea of a vampire bite and then just looks like a pattern. Now, the final piercing I will probably never get is the one that saddens me the greatest, and that is the navel piercing, or belly button piercing as some people know it. I have loved this piercing since I was a little girl in the noughties and it was really popular. There was only two piercings I ever really wanted as a kid, and that was my tongue piercing, which I've got, and a belly button piercing, which unfortunately I don't think I'll ever have a body confidence enough to go and get. Some people would say, oh, you're not fat and stuff like that, and it doesn't matter if you're fat and you want to have a belly button piercing. I just don't think I'd ever be comfortable enough to show it off, so what's the point of getting it? Like, I haven't been in a bikini or anything, like, ever. I'm a one-piece swimsuit kind of girl because I do not feel comfortable in anything that shows off my stomach or midriff, because that is probably my most insecure part of my body. It's exceptionally hard for me to lose weight anyway because of my health conditions. I know some people go, oh, I've got health conditions, therefore it's really hard, but no, literally, I have a rip in my brain which is controlling the hormones for my metabolism, and they basically go, no, you're never going to be skinny. Give up on that dream, mate. That's the one that pains me the most. I love it so, so much, but I just don't see myself ever having it. So, on that slightly depressing note, they are my top 10 favourite piercings that I'll probably never get. So, I'm going to wrap this up and say toodle pip or beans and see you in the next video.